It's the future of life on Earth. That is what's at stake. This is the moment where we each have to use our own voices.
In October 2018, a United Nations panel issued a stark warning that urgent and unprecedented changes are needed to avoid the devastating impact of climate change.
If we don't do that, we would not survive. I'm sure that would not be an appropriate outcome for anyone.
In the midst of these warnings, a new, more radical protest group have emerged in the UK and are making headlines: Extinction Rebellion. Focusing on non-violent direct action and civil disobedience over more conventional forms of protest, Extinction Rebellion aim to challenge government inaction by disrupting everyday life.
If getting arrested makes a difference, then it's something I'm willing to do. I don't know how I'd live with myself in the future, knowing I wasn't willing to stand up and take the action that's needed.
This isn't just a bunch of tree huggers who are a bit upset. These are people, normal people, who think, actually, this is more important than my career.
As more days of actions are planned, we followed the group from their day of declaration in Parliament Square in November 2018.
Where does the Extinction Rebellion begin? Here! We put our hands up against extinction and for life. Thank you.
So this is Extinction Rebellion, and it starts here in Parliament Square. This is just the first of a series of escalating actions where hundreds of people, including myself, have pledged to be arrested in order to try to defend this fantastic planet on which we live, which no one else is stepping up sufficiently to defend. We're seeing an ecological collapse on a scale that I hoped my grandchildren would never see in their adult lives. But here I am witnessing it with my own eyes. Parliament, forget it. Companies, forget it. The big NGOs, hopeless. So who's left? We're left.
We need to put pressure on the government for things to happen, because it's not going to happen on their own, because it's not in their interest, so it has to come from people pressure. We're in the process of setting up a chapter in York, so we're going to be giving a talk there as well, and then from then organising more direct action. Me and my friend spent a lot of time complaining about climate breakdown and being like, no one's doing anything. And I saw that there was a talk in Leeds. This kind of gave us an opportunity to do something, so we went to this talk and then said, this is our theory of change, this is how we believe we can bring about change. The talk really hit me hard, so I was already terrified. The talk definitely enhanced that, but it also gave me something to do about it.
What do we want? Climate justice! When do we want it? Now!
Extinction Rebellion York is the one that I've been most involved with, because I'm a coordinator of that. We started by having a roadblock. We're trying to get York Council to declare a climate emergency and commit to being carbon neutral by 2030. And it's just to try and build the movement as much as possible, talk to people, tell them why they should care, and yeah, get the message out there. The Extinction Rebellion has massively grown. It's snowballed internationally as well. I think there's groups in like 34 different countries, although that might have gone up. And so if we can really create an international movement that's actually autonomous, then it has massive potential.
I'm a psychologist by training, and my career has mostly been in academia. I was working with a couple of other people who are connected with Extinction Rebellion, and we found that academics were willing to sign a letter and that we would demand that the government tells the truth. I hate getting in my car and then going to work knowing that I'm contributing to this problem, and every day brings us closer to the point at which there's going to be some kind of collapse. I'm planning to resign my job, and I will say I'm resigning because of climate change.
I've been in education all my life. Academics that I've worked with are doing research on the environment, environmental sciences, and they're aware of what's happening. There's still a kind of business as usual attitude that's prevailing, and I just don't feel I can be part of that any longer.
I've got 4 children, and they're all talking about their futures and what they're going to be doing, and it's really painful as a mum to
be aware of what's on the horizon and the difficulties that they're likely to face. It's a daily reminder to me of why I'm doing what I'm doing.
The plan today is to basically occupy Westminster Bridge there, Lambeth Bridge there, and there's 3 others, to block the road and to cause as much disorder as possible, really. So the government has to take notice of what we're doing, and if enough people stand up and say enough is enough, hopefully they'll all take action.
So I've chosen, for no reason in particular, Waterloo Bridge. So I'm slightly apprehensive, because I haven't done anything like this. When we got there, initially I was sort of thinking there aren't many people around, and I was sort of wondering when are all the crowds going to gather and what's the signal going to be and what are we going to do, and then all of a sudden I remember seeing somebody just sort of get out into the bridge, and I thought, right, that's it. So over the barriers, and we all got onto the road and then just sat on the bridge.
Just sat down on the bridge. There's several thousand people here, it looks like, and this is just one bridge. I can see people over on Lambeth. Can't see the other bridges, but I'm sure there's a good turnout on those as well.
I spoke to quite a few people sitting in that group with me and sort of walking around a little bit, and and a lot of them were saying the same thing. It was the first time that they'd done it, and they hadn't heard of Extinction Rebellion before, and it was really sort of interesting that this thing had sort of come from nowhere, and all of a sudden everyone's sort of realising that this is kind of an opportunity to start actually, doing something, taking action.
So we're heading over to Lambeth Bridge as I don't think there's enough people over there, and so the police are closing in. They want to prevent the police from arresting those people by providing them with more support, more people, the less likelihood they are to arrest them. So yeah, that's where we're heading now.
So are you willing to leave the bridge?
No. We're blocking the highway, yeah, we're doing it on purpose.
It will make life a lot easier for both myself and yourself. It's not necessary.
We're going to stay here and get arrested.
So the time is 12:47. I'm arresting you for breaching section 137 highways.
That one? So yeah, number of the lawyers for when we get arrested, so we have that number ready.
It's an opportunity for you to join this group.
The bridge I was on was Lambeth Bridge, locked on with a bunch of my friends. I think there were 40-something arrests on that bridge. So this was the people who were sat on the road like I was. The police said, will you move? And they said not to. So they were the ones that got arrested. It is very nerve-wracking because I don't like watching my friends get dragged away. That's not a fun experience for anyone, and I'm always very concerned that they're not going to be okay. But if that can create real change, then it's worth it. Doing arrestable action is what we need to do at the moment. Doesn't mean that getting arrested is something that should be prioritised or anything like that. It just is a part of the action.
Obviously I'm nervous about arrest. It's a novel thing to me. I've never been arrested, and from what I've heard it can be a traumatic experience. If getting arrested makes a difference, then it's something I'm willing to do.
When people show they're prepared to make a sacrifice, other people say, you wouldn't be risking your liberty if you didn't think this was something very, very big indeed.
This isn't just a bunch of tree huggers who are a bit upset. This is a really active group who are very, very determined, who are not going to go away.
So we're not the first group doing direct action at all. It's just engaging in civil disobedience and going beyond traditional methods of organising is very powerful, and I think it's a way to not be ignored.
I think it has the potential to be different, and it's really everyone coming together. Mothers, fathers, kids, grandparents, everyone from all walks of life from several different countries, and I think that's what's needed. I think this could catalyse the change we need.